Hi, my name is Ryan O'Donnell, and I am the chairperson of the Environmental and Climate Justice Committee of the Chicago Westside Branch of the NAACP.
And I'm Bob Dean. I'm the CEO of the Center for Neighborhood Technology. We're a nonprofit organization based here in Chicago working on equity and sustainability.
Thank you for joining us, Bob. This has been really a great learning opportunity for me, and I know that we share a lot of the same ideas about what Justice 40 has and what the White House has released with its climate and economic justice screening tool. I just for some background was put in contact with Bob because the Chicago Westside Branch and CNT are both members of the Illinois Clean Jobs Coalition, and I brought up some issues that I thought the tool that the White House released has, the map, in that it is very binary. And so someone thought I should talk to Bob, and we found out that he's been doing a lot of work on this. So why don't you talk about some of that work?
Yeah, that sounds good. And thank you, Ryan. We appreciate you reaching out, and we agree. We kind of came to the same conclusions about this as you and your organization did. So to back up just a step, the Justice 40 initiative is an effort by the federal government to devote at least 40% of the benefit of federal investments to places that have historically been left behind. So this was announced in the early stages of the Biden administration. And then a web tool was released about 2 months ago to communicate where would be the places which would be really the highest priorities in terms of directing future investment. So what's shown on the map here is what the federal government's tool looks like, and it shows areas that are either in or out of the definition of Justice 40. So as you can see, most of the west side of Chicago here is included as an area that would be considered a disadvantaged area, but not all of it. There are definitely some gaps. And so C&T put together our own map that communicates what's in Justice 40 and what's out, and then tries to understand a little bit why. So the federal map is the one shown here. The map that C&T put together is here. So the color scheme here is a little bit different. So let me just explain. The orange is any area which is part of Justice 40 or is identified as a disadvantaged area in Justice 40. And all the other colors are other things that indicate maybe it should have been, but it's not. So the red, the blue, and the purple are areas that either have a high degree of environmental burden, according to the indicators that the federal government is using, or are more than 50% people of color, or both. So all of these are areas, again, that are not included in Justice 40, but do have significant indicators that maybe they should have been included as part of that definition.
And we can just see, even on this map, like those blue um, tracks there, because it's based on census tracks, are all sort of like in an island around EJ communities, around what the Justice 40 tool considers an EJ community, but they themselves are not considered an EJ community. And this is particularly relevant for these small census tracts in these dense areas like this, obviously, like the city of Chicago. Um, since these census tracts are so much smaller, if these environmental harms or dangers are not directly in these census tracts, it can wind up seeming like they are less of an EJ community than they would be in an area with larger census tracts.
Yeah. So with our tool, you can also click on each of these and then just learn more information about that particular tract. So in this case, for this one, it is not part of Justice 40. And often, I mean, we find the reason that they have these gaps is a couple things that have to do with the construction of the tool. So for one thing, they don't use race as a factor in determining environmental justice, even though pretty much all of the research on this shows that race and environmental justice are very highly linked together. Then also, to qualify as an area, you have to hit certain socioeconomic thresholds. It's essentially like you have to cross these different bars in order to be considered a disadvantaged area. And if you miss one bar by even a little bit, but hit all the others by a lot, you're still not included. So it's a very like simplistic way of putting together the analysis, that you just have to have the minimum thresholds, which ends up excluding places that are highly impacted but just miss one threshold by like 1 percentage point.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean that's like I was saying, and like you said, it's just very binary. Like you're either in or you're out, whether by 1% or by 10%, and that just isn't as comprehensive, especially dealing with all these somewhat complex issues as we
Mm-hmm.
need it to be.
Yeah. So we have concerns about this ourselves. We're writing some comments to the federal government, and I can show here, Ryan, how other people can give comments to the federal government as well. It's actually very easy to say what you think about this. On our tool or on the federal tool, there's a place that you can just click to submit your comments. Here is what this screen looks like. So this will come up in a second. And you simply go to submit a formal comment on this webpage. And Ryan, we can share the link for this afterwards here. And you really just put your comment into this box. You have to say, are you commenting as an individual, organization, or even anonymously? So if you have the same opinions we do about the importance of including these areas that have a lot of environmental burden and are just left out by because they just miss one criteria, or you think that a more complex methodological system would help to reflect what's actually happening there, it is, please use our tool to explore what's going on. And then if you're interested, please submit a comment. So, but yeah, thanks for the time today, Ryan, to just talk about this with your group. And thank you for reaching out initially and just identifying that we'd found a lot of the same, we'd come to a lot of the same conclusions independently.
Yeah, I really appreciate the work that you've done. Obviously, organizations like ours are so massive, and we have so many different things that we have to tackle. So I think it's really important to, when we do find people who have sort of aligned thinking, to try to uh, partner together on that. And I appreciate the information that you shared with us and sharing the ways to submit comments. If you all are interested in submitting those comments, it seems relatively straightforward. You can just say that this binary system um, is not comprehensive enough, like we've been saying, and it needs to have a more tiered approach, or that it needs to at least try to include more race factors, since they are such a major factor in a lot of these environmental uh, harms. Well, thank you so much, Bob.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate the time. And if we can be of help on anything else, or if we can work together on other ideas, please reach out. We'd love to keep working together.
Look forward to it.